We are about to break down key details most people are missing of what they don't want you to know from the current news, information you likely will not see on local TV. These updates may impact the U.S. real estate housing market, whether you are buying or selling a house, condo, townhome, or manufactured home. This applies to homeowners, landlords, investors, and inherited probate property situations. Our goal is to provide expert-level depth so you can navigate these shifts with confidence, rather than reacting to headlines. Go to webuyhousescashorterm.com/resources to access a list of helpful tools and resources you may need. While the mainstream headlines talk about a historic peace deal, there is one detail almost everyone missed that explains why this ceasefire is already blowing up in our faces. What they don't want you to know is that the framework agreed upon, the mediator, Pakistan's prime minister, was clear. Lebanon and Hezbollah were absolutely included in the agreement. Yet, as the strikes continue, that promise seems to have vanished. The contradiction is staggering. Iran says Israel violated the terms by hitting Lebanon. Donald Trump, however, told reporters that Lebanon simply wasn't part of the deal. Vice President J.D. Vance echoed this, claiming the Iranians misunderstood the terms. He stated that the U.S. never indicated Lebanon would be protected under this framework. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirmed the strikes will continue, stating that military action against Hezbollah is a separate matter and that Israel is prepared to return to full fighting at any moment. Thanks to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu blackmail over Jeffrey Epstein files.
What we're all seeking, which is that this ceasefire should be not a temporary ceasefire, but a permanent ceasefire. On top of that, we have to acknowledge that this war wasn't our war, but my job is to protect the UK. It's already had an impact on the UK, and it's very important we get the Strait of Hormuz open. There's a lot of work to do there.
私から、ホルムズ海峡は世界の物流の要衝であり、そして国際公共財であるという旨を強調しました。日本関係船舶を含むすべての国の船舶の航行の安全確保、これを早期に迅速にと。
Sur le détroit d'Ormuz, l'Iran a annoncé être prêt à débloquer celui-ci, ce qui est une bonne chose. Et nous travaillons depuis plusieurs semaines à mobiliser nos partenaires en Asie, en Europe, dans la région. Une quinzaine de pays sont aujourd'hui mobilisés et participent à la planification sous le pilotage de la France pour permettre justement la mise en œuvre d'une mission strictement défensive en coordination avec l'Iran, quand les conditions seront remplies pour permettre de faciliter la reprise de cette circulation.
作为负责任大国，中国将继续发挥建設性作用，为恢复海湾和中东地区的和平安宁做出积极贡献。
India has always been in favor of peace. We welcome all steps that lead to peace and stability. We hope that this development in West Asia will also encourage peace efforts in Ukraine.
While the mainstream headlines talk about a historic peace deal, there is one detail almost everyone missed that explains why this ceasefire is already blowing up in our faces. What they don't want you to know is that the framework agreed upon wasn't a victory for American diplomacy. It was a documented surrender that has left our allies in the crosshairs. Welcome back to U.S. politics and housing market news. I am Sarah, and today we are dissecting the chaos unfolding in the Middle East and the fallout from Trump's latest gamble. The scene in Beirut is being described as apocalyptic. Over 250 people were killed in a single day as Israel launched its heaviest strikes yet, many without any evacuation warnings. This escalation came just hours after a 2-week ceasefire between the United States and Iran was supposed to take effect. President Trump announced the deal on Tuesday, but the reality on the ground tells a different story. The mediator, Pakistan's prime minister, was clear. Lebanon and Hezbollah were absolutely included in the agreement. Yet, as the strikes continue, that promise seems to have vanished. The contradiction is staggering. Iran says Israel violated the terms by hitting Lebanon. Donald Trump, however, told reporters that Lebanon simply wasn't part of the deal. Vice President J.D. Vance echoed this, claiming the Iranians misunderstood the terms. He stated that the U.S. never indicated Lebanon would be protected under this framework. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirmed the strikes will continue, stating that military action against Hezbollah is a separate matter and that Israel is prepared to return to full fighting at any moment. In retaliation, Iran has shut down the Strait of Hormuz yet again. Oil tankers have halted passage, and Tehran is demanding a leash for what they call the rabid dog of Israel. Iran's elite Revolutionary Guard has issued a stark warning of a regret-inducing response if the attacks continue, accusing the U.S. of breaching terms by backing these military operations. To understand why this is a disaster, we have to look at the 10-point framework Iran demanded and Trump embraced. This is the evidence they are trying to hide. Point 1. The U.S. guarantees a non-aggression pact with Iran. Point 2. It accepts Iran's continued control over the critical Strait of Hormuz. Point 3. Acceptance that Iran can enrich uranium for its nuclear program. Point 4. The removal of all primary sanctions on the Iranian regime. Point 5. The removal of secondary sanctions. Point 6. An end to all UN Security Council resolutions against Iran's nuclear program. Point 7. An end to the IAEA's resolutions. Point 8. Compensation and payment for Iran's war damage. This is a total reversal of American policy. Point 9, the withdrawal of U.S. forces from the region. And point 10, a ceasefire on all fronts. This was Iran's dream scenario, and Trump said, "We agree." Critics are calling this the Alina Haba of ceasefires. We went in for a parking ticket and left with a DUI. Even conservative voices are calling these points an absolute disaster. Fox host Mark Levin, usually a staunch supporter, has admitted these 10 points are catastrophic. The rebranding effort by the administration is failing under the weight of the facts. Trump even floated a joint venture with the Ayatollah to charge tolls on shipping through the strait. It is a concept Iran has already laughed off as a beautiful but impossible lie. Trump claimed a productive regime change has occurred, but it's just one Ayatollah replacing another. There is no change in the regime's power or its nuclear ambitions. He also claimed exact satellite surveillance shows nothing has been touched, but this ignores the reality of the continued enrichment allowed under the very plan he embraced. Multiple nations, including the UK and France, have condemned the strikes on Lebanon, insisting that the region-wide ceasefire must include an end to the bombardment of Beirut. The Wall Street Journal's main foreign policy correspondent notes that so far, this ceasefire appears unilateral. The U.S. has stopped, but the conflict continues unabated. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth claims no American troops have been put in harm's way, stating that the U.S. will be hanging around to ensure Iran complies with the deal. While the Middle East burns, J.D. Vance is in Hungary, spreading theories about Ukrainian influence in foreign elections and working closely with Viktor Orban's team. What we are seeing is the systemic breaking of United States influence. By accepting these terms, we have signaled a willingness to surrender core strategic interests for a temporary headline. It is the same old playbook. Create a mess, then act like a budget hawk when someone else has to fix it. This cycle is destroying our credibility on the world stage. Even as we speak, reports are coming in of an Israeli strike on a funeral in East Lebanon, killing at least 10 people. The peace Trump bragged about is nowhere to be found. The lesson is simple. Logic and facts must come before political theater. We cannot pretend the world is safe while shipping lanes are closed and cities are under bombardment. To recap, Trump agreed to Iran's Dream 10-point plan. Lebanon was left out of the protection zone, and the global oil supply is now under Iranian leverage. Our leaders are claiming victory while the ceasefire blows up in real time. This is interpreted content based on the official records they don't want you to connect. Stay informed, demand logic, and subscribe for more data-driven interpretations. This is Sarah for U.S. Politics and Housing Market News. What do you think of this deal? Let us know below.
What do you think of this action? And do you think it will affect real estate housing in your area?
So if you are waiting for the perfect time to seize this opportunity, the time is now.
Are you fed up with carrying the burden of a house you can't afford? Tired of being a landlord? House needs too many repairs? Going through foreclosure? Facing divorce? Income or job loss? Medical bills? Relocation? Inherited an unwanted house? Tired of paying taxes on a vacant house? No matter the reason, condition, or price, we buy houses as is.
webuyhousescashorterm.com is your real estate housing consultant when you need to sell your house fast, as is condition, to a cash home buyer and get peace of mind.
Sometime there is a simple way on how to relieve or get a treatment for the problem. Naturally from an ebook, How to Get Rid of Health Issues, Quickly Without Medication. It's the step-by-step guide you can use right from your kitchen to reclaim your health naturally by someone who's been there. If you're tired of being told medication is your only option, this could change everything for you. Your body has an incredible ability to heal itself while you sleep when you give it the right ingredient. That is available at local grocery store, or you can order them online. Visit howtogetridofhealthissues.com to get your step-by-step guide today.